Oh, looks like we're up and running. Uh, right, there we go. Everything should be up now. Yep, looks good. Right, welcome to round 7 of the season. So we just got 2 more rounds to go, which I am aiming to be fully caught up potentially tomorrow. Let's find the standings and see where we're at. So after the last round, it was pretty much smooth sailing for Colin. There we go. In Tier 3 White, he had a 50-point lead at this stage ahead of Spin in the BMW. So his season has been completely dominant so far. Only top fives the whole season long, with plenty of podiums and the 1 race win. Spin's got more wins. He's got 2 wins, but has been a bit less consistent. He's got a few low and no scoring rounds. Didn't score any points in the sprint races in both rounds 1 and 2. It wasn't actually until round 3 where he started picking up some really big points. Then we got Mighty Mini Smiley in P3. He's 17 points behind his teammate Spin. Then a further 11 points back is Deco, and then a further 12 points behind him is Pyro. So Pyro in the top 5, actually. I didn't know that he was still getting those results. I think a big thanks goes to the sprint race podium in Dragon Trail, actually. That Blue Moon Bay, and we can go through the grid here. So in P16 we've got Sir Tracy making his 3rd appearance in Tier 3. He is currently P20 in the standings. Might get some free positions in that 4GT on the straight though. It's pretty good in a straight line. Wack, who finished P1 and P2 in the opening races in the opening round, has fallen to 8th in the standings now, and horrible qualifying for him. He's 15th in the Alpha, which we don't think is as good as it was pre-update. Then we got Cherry in P14. Cherry is 6th in the standings, so we'll be a bit disappointed with that qualifying. So will Turbo Boy, who's 7th in the standings, but only lining up 13th. The MR car is really struggling with the transition from the banking into turn 1 specifically. So we'll have to watch out for some spins potentially. If they take it too aggressively, the FRs can take a lot more speed into that corner. Kenny in P12, he is currently 19th in the standings despite attending almost every race. Didn't score any points last week, so we'll be looking to bounce back. Then we got Zimmer in P11. Zimmer is actually 10th in the standings, so pretty much where we'd expect him to be, although he's put in some good performances recently. Yuri is 10th. Yuri's had a bit of a mare this season in terms of strategy, making trips off of the track a bit too often. He's 14th in the standings, so a fairly decent qualifying there for Yuri. Fairly decent as well for JMS, who could have won back in Tokyo before the rain came down, and then ended up DNFing that race after not getting the strategy right on the tyres and spinning all over the place. He actually had a good round in Dragon Trail, finished 5th in the sprint. He is now in 13th in the standings. They've got Genesis in the Audi, who's had podiums this season as well, so potentially will be disappointed with 8th place here. Pyro in 7th, much better than his teammate managed in the Alpha, so we know it's still capable of getting into the top 10 at least. Pasty in 6th. Pasty's down in 18th in the standing, so he needs to start getting some results in the bag. We've got Joe in 5th. Joe is... where is he? He's got... is he in the top 10? He's not. He's actually 15th because he's only competed twice, but he did get 1 second place in a sprint race. And then Spin, one of our championship contenders, is 4th. Deco in 3rd. Colin didn't get pole position, actually went to Harry, who got the pole position point here for BMW. So let's get the sprint race underway. We got 14 laps, even though it's a 15-minute race. That's how short the lap is round here. Alright, lights are out and away we go. Everyone's going to be on softs here with the low tyre wear. Looks like a great start as expected from Joe in the Renault. He might be trying to challenge up into up into P1. He's actually made his way up into second place by the looks of it. Just ahead of Deco there, who's trying to get past Colin at the moment. So Colin dropping back a lot here. And there's Spin getting past as well. So Spin not having the best opening, but battling with his championship contender here for position at the very start. And then here's Pasty thinking about a move, but Spin's going to try and go for a move himself. He's actually getting dive bombed by Pasty, who makes contact with Colin. Everyone's bunching up now. Colin gets away with it. Spin's potentially losing out 2 positions there because of that. So I'm sure he wasn't best pleased, and yeah, he gets that position but actually pushes JMS onto the gravel there. And JMS under pressure now from Cherry. Wack, who's made a fantastic start. I think we have to go and see how Wack went from all the way at the back to comfortably in P7 there at the end of the first lap. He's already got Turbo Boy just off having a better start. Zimmer just wiped out Yuri there. So there's 12th place for Wack. They're potentially going to take advantage of everyone bunching up around these couple of corners. Kenny a little bit slow, Wack's pouncing on that. Should be in easy position. Everyone else is going to be slow ahead as they were battling for positions here. And then we're going to see the Deco dive bomb might bunch the cars up a little bit more. Wack's got the inside for this corner. There's Cherry and Spin pushed on the outside. And yeah, Wack's just going to try and take this corner safely. He's actually caught a little bit on the outside there. And JMS being pushed out. He actually gets past him, and now he's in P8, ready to try and challenge Spin for position here. And it sounded like someone went into the walls there. I think Kenny is dropping down, JMS is dropping down as well. Turbo Boy up into 11th, almost in a reverse grid position. So near the front, it's pretty much line astern here going down into turn 1. No one's actually having a look apart from Turbo Boy on Genesis. The Audi's really bad in turn 1. And yeah, a lot of people got easy positions on me in turn 1, just like it looks like Turbo Boy's going to get an easy position on Genesis here, with Kenny kind of lining up a move, having to back out of it at the end. Not the best camera angle there, is it? But Genesis has a little run on Turbo Boy in the infield, where the Audi is very strong. But he's going to try and go around the outside of this very, very slow right-hander, and Kenny's going to try and get the position, but instead absolutely spins it round and drops to the back. So what's happening up front? Harry's under a bit of pressure from Joe. Joe maybe not getting as good a turn with the dirty air as Harry got. Harry's got maybe 2/10, 3/10 on Joe at the moment, which could be reeled in on this straight. Again, the Renault's in an MR car, so let's see how he takes turn 1. Trying to take a tighter line than Harry. I think Harry turned in a little bit too late there, actually. But still, took quite some good speed through there. Then you got Deco, and then a bit of a gap to Pyro, who's coming under pressure from Colin now, trying to recover from the bad start. Oh, a bit of a mistake there. He put his wheels on the grass. And then Pyro completely spins out on the exit. That's a very easy corner to do that and to make a spin if you are going full throttle and turning your wheel on the grass where he was. So that's Pyro probably out of contention when he could have potentially had a podium here. To be honest, he wasn't that far away. So that promotes Colin up to 4th. Pasty's in 5th at the moment, holding up Spin. Wack not really keeping up with these guys after his storming first lap, but he is up into 7th after his teammate's mistake. Pasti going ultra defensive here. I think he's going to be too far ahead for a move anyway. Yeah, way too far ahead. What's going on a bit further back? Here comes the Tracy on Yuri. Like we said, the Ford is good. Straight, potentially just not strong enough. A little bit of contact, ooh, a bit more contact, and Zimmerman goes a bit wide. JMS gets involved in that as well. So all of them losing heaps of time there, tripping over each other, and Tracy going wide, and Zimmer's going to try and get the double overtake, and he actually gets it done up into 11th now. That was a good overtake, and he needs to try and get away from these guys because they keep fighting. But yeah, so Tracy losing 2 there. Cherry catching up to Whack pretty nicely, and it looks like Pasti and Spin are having a little battle. So something's happened with Pasti here. Spin's got a run on him. He leaves the door open. Spin goes down. Pasti's trying to hang it around the outside. He's going to get a pretty decent exit here. But Spin's fully ahead at this point. Pasti's thinking about sending it. Spin gives him the space and gets a better exit. So Spin survives that one. Deco's being caught by Colin as well. So Deco is going to try and have a move on Joe here into turn 1. Joe going defensive already. Deco's going to try and go around the outside. Is he going to make it stick? If he does, this would be very impressive. And yeah, not much Joe could do about that. Once again, an FR finding turn 1 far easier than an MR in those corners. So that's Deco up into 2nd, which is would be a great result for him. Maybe the Mazda's a bit better post-update, potentially. And in comes Colin up into P3 now. Quite an easy overtake there on Joe. I think Joe left the door open a little bit there. Spins in a solid P5, still about half a second ahead of Pasti. Then there's a gap to Whack. Cherry has been caught now by Turbo Boy and Genesis here. But yeah, it looks like a better exit there for Cherry. Genesis a little bit further back. Zimmer is gapping JMS, his teammate, the 2 Supras. JMS hit the wall there. Tracy might have a run on him now. JMS already going defensive. He's getting flashed by Tracy. So that obviously translated to I'm not going for a move, but then JMS leaves the door absolutely open, and they make contact for a 2nd lap in a row in turn 1. Yuri swoops through to retake 1 more position there. So these 3 still bunched up nicely. Whack's not too far ahead of them. And then this battle for P2 is about to heat up, I reckon, because Colin has caught up to the back of Pasti. Colin's got the fastest lap as well. Set it on lap 2 actually, so potentially no more fastest laps are coming. Now can Colin keep up in the slipstream? He can, but he can't really close the gap on that Mazda. And again, a pretty careful entry into the corner from Colin. Deco messed it up actually. Went wide through it. Colin's actually hit the wall and he's going to spin around. There's Joe. And he was ghosted. Drops down to 6th. Here comes Whack into 7th as well. But Whack's going to... Oh, he keeps it on the road. Like he was going straight into the grass there, but managed to get it slowed down in time. Some damage on Colin's car, but Whack's got... Yeah, there was a bit of a gap between Whack and Cherry. And now there's a move for Pasti past Joe as well. So Pasti doing the 2 Mazdas in the top 4 now. So he definitely enjoys this kind of track. And a good exit there for Pasti. Spin's been promoted into the podium positions now with Colin's mistake. So this is good for Spin in the championship. He's got 4 positions on Colin currently. And he's going side by side with Whack into turn 1. Who's going to win this one? Colin with the inside line. Whack might get a better exit. He has to delay his throttle, and that means he can't really pull alongside Colin as he should have. So one more position back for Colin, one extra point. A little bit closer to wrapping up the championship with a round to spare. Yeah, the top 10 are all still pretty close, especially 3rd to 10th. And then there's still this big gap down to 11th, so there needs to be more incidents if any of these guys are going to end up on reverse grid pole. Tracy down to 16th now. So let's have a look at what the lap times of the leaders are like. So Harry, our leader since the very start, is an 8.6 compared to a 7.9, so that's 7/10 quicker Deco is. With plenty of laps to go, he could still win this round. Then we've got Colin making another position, this time on Joe. Let's rewind and see how that happened. He had the run, he wasn't giving Joe any space either into the braking zone. And Joe just has to completely back out early to try and make the corner. He could get a good exit. Colin nails the exit as well. Actually, Joe hits the wall very slightly as well. And yeah, a little bit wide through the corner, so Colin's going to drive away from him. So that's from 2nd down to 6th now. And he's lapping in the, well, he did one lap in the 11s. And then the last lap was an 8.9. Wack's last lap wasn't great either, a 9.3. Cherry's starting to get caught by Genesis now. Genesis is past Turbo Boy somewhere. Is Turbo going into the wall? No, he just doesn't get as good an exit. You saw how Genesis really cut that corner, but it isn't getting a penalty. That is the way to do it. Anyway, back up to where we were. Cherry's just grazed the wall there. It might actually open the door for Genesis to get a 2nd position in 2 laps. It's definitely got the slipstream. This is MR versus MR. Down the banking, into the braking zone. Cherry's got the inside line. Genesis is going to try and cut back. And it looks like he's getting away with it here. He's fully ahead of Cherry, and he's got the inside line. And he takes the corner very well, gets fully ahead of Cherry before the next braking zone. Now he just needs to nail this corner. And yeah, he does indeed. So Genesis is going to avoid the dive bomb from Cherry, and that is up to P8 now. A little bit further up. Oh, Joe going a bit wide there. Potential for Whack to get a run on him. Whack losing a bit of traction though, has lost a bit of time as well as a result. Now, how are they going to take this tricky corner, potentially the most important corner on the track? This one in turn 1. Yeah, still not enough. Looks like Colin's fancying a move on Pasty though. He wants P4 now. We've only got 4 laps left to go. Oh, and into the wall once again for Colin. Joe is battling with Whack. And he goes wide again. And is Whack going to get the switch back here? To get a similar exit, Joe's already going defensive for the next corner. And Joe makes a late dive there and keeps the position. Once again, Whack losing a bit of traction, struggling to control this Alfa Romeo. Once again, he might have a good run down the straight though, because he's very close here. A better corner again for Joe, dirtier for Whack. Bit further up, there's definitely a move on for Colin. He's got alongside Pasty now. On the braking, really late braking there for Pasty. He's trying to get the switch back. He's trying to get a good exit on the outside now. And he is still slightly alongside Colin, but it's not going to work with the left-hander like that. So that's another position recovered for Colin. He's back where he started, behind Spin. Back where he started at the sprint, I should say. Joe still holding up Whack. Genesis has lost his position to Cherry. So Cherry pulls up alongside and gets the position. Basically carbon copy of what we saw the previous lap in reverse though. So Cherry giving Genesis a taste of his own medicine there. Turbo on for a reverse grid pole. There was a Lambo on reverse grid pole in the feature race in my tier as well, and it won. Well, we had a Lambo 1-2, and it was a Lambo 1-2. So maybe it's better in feature race trim, I'm not sure. He's still with the pack though, which means he's got good pace. 2 more laps to go. Everyone taking that corner fairly efficiently, avoiding the wall, but nice and spaced out. What's Pasty up to? He's still fairly close to Colin, but not close enough for a move. Deco, meanwhile, is caught all the way up to the back of Harry. So let's stick with this. Deco has been lapping a little bit quicker, a few tenths quicker every lap. Is he going to be able to catch Harry in the infield section and have a go down the straight? He's not got much time to do it. Yeah, Harry took that corner a little bit better, managed to hit the apex, and Deco missed it slightly. He's going to miss this one as well. Potentially because the tyres are a little bit more worn, and he hasn't adjusted his driving slightly to make the brakes, but he's a little bit too far behind at the moment to get a move done on Harry with 1 lap to go. Time's running out. Joe's just ploughed into the wall. Oh no, he hasn't. What the hell? Let's watch that from Wack's point of view. He's all over the back of Joe here. Joe's just going to lag back in front of him. That's a strange one. But it's a huge get out of jail free card for Joe because he's not under any pressure. The man under pressure is Wack. Well, actually, never mind. Cherry just grazed the wall and lost a lot of momentum. Let's see, these guys are pretty close. They have to nail this corner. Oh dear. They all bunched up, concertinaed together, managed to avoid all the contact. Joe under pressure once again. And he's a bit wide, but he's got the inside line for the corner. Wack's gonna completely mess up everything there. Looks like Turbo Boy's been in the walls as well. He's potentially going to overtake Wack. And then we've got Joe, Cherry and Genesis vying for position here. And it looks like Genesis has edged past Cherry. Cherry's going to get him. But back to the front because we've got some drivers approaching the finish line. Harry is going to take a lights to flag victory in this sprint race. Very dominant fashion. Deco caught up but couldn't really challenge at the front. Then Spin's going to take a P3, pretty solid. Colin recovers to 4th. Pasty in 5th place. Joe is in 6th place now. Cherry in 7th, just ahead of Genesis, and then Wack will be starting at least 2nd in the feature. Turbo Boy gets reverse grid pole. JMS ahead of the pack that was a bit further back, ahead of Yuri, Pyro, Zimmer, Kenny, and Sir Tracy, who's a long way back. Been in the wars quite often in the race. Actually, in the last 10 laps, he's only been below 1 minute 10 twice. So, damage limitation for sure there for Colin. He only finish one position behind. I think that's like 2 points that you lose between a P3 and a P4. And then, right, let's find it. The feature race. But he does start ahead of Spin this time. So if he keeps that position, he's actually won the championship. As long as he beats Spin in this race. If he loses to Spin by 1 position, I think he'd still win the championship. He'd have to lose by multiple positions in the feature for it to carry over to the final round at Le Mans. So let's get going. Let's have a quick look at what our leader's doing. Mediums for Turbo and for Whack. Mediums. Hards for Colin. Hards for Deco. And mediums for Harry. So let's join and see what it looks like at the front. Turbo Boy leading from Whack and Genesis, who's already coming under pressure from Cherry into turn 1. So Genesis having to go wide into the turn. Turbo Boy gets turn 1 all wrong. And yeah, good exit there from turn 1 for Cherry. It looks like he's going to keep this position. Genesis trying to stick it around the outside. He has held it there pretty well. And it looks like, oh, yeah, manages to get the position done. Is Wack going to catch up to Turbo Boy and have a look? Not yet. Joe's trying to get a move back on Genesis, though, and it looks like he's actually going to get it done. Pasty trying to follow through as well. And Cherry's drops all the way down. He's trying to get 5th back off Pasty. Now Pasty's coming under pressure from Spin. You don't want to go side by side in this corner. But Spin's going to hold it, and he actually avoids hitting the wall. And he's going to try and cover off Pasty here. And he does, and now he's going to get some advantage of the slipstream with Cherry, which is probably going to stop Pasty getting the move done. Turbo Boy finishes lap 1 now. Colin getting caught a little bit by Harry here. Harry's absolutely gone for the move. And he's got that position fairly comfortably. So Harry up into 8th, Colin 9th, Yuri 10th. Something's happened to Deco, he's down in 12th. So he started in 9th. Lost a spot to Harry fairly early on. Now Yuri's potentially going to have a look at him. Yuri going around the outside here. Deco gives him the space, and he's still pretty much alongside. And then into the corner, Yuri's got the advantage with the inside line and gets that position. And yeah, Deco's in a rough spot here because his line was completely compromised and Zimmer should just completely follow through. It's not helped by the fact that he's on the hards as well, so he's lost lots of positions at the start purely due to not being able to fight here. Now JMS is going to try and follow through. It looks like he's, unless he goes for a really late lunge, Deco really defending this one. And not much he could do there. And yeah, Zimmer up in 11th. Colin dropping behind Harry, as we saw. Now Harry's going to try and get a spot on Pasty with Spin just ahead, trying to get Cherry. Looks like Pasty got a beautiful exit there. These two still side by side ahead. Spin edging ahead. And what's Pasty going to do here? He's gone for a very late dive bomb and made it work perfectly. Now Cherry's under pressure from Harry. And yeah, good defense there from Cherry, keeps the position. Great exit there from Harry as well. He's potentially going to get Cherry on the banking. Is Cherry going to go for a dive into turn 1? Don't think it's going to be possible. Harry gives him plenty of space though. But Harry nails the exit. Colin hits the wall again in turn 1. Bit further up, Wack and Joe having a battle. Looks like Joe's just got past Wack once again. So the top four, Turbo, Joe, Wack and Genesis. Wack's going to go for a late lunge, is he? No, he's not. Probably should have. Now he's going to get overtaken himself, potentially by Genesis. And once again defends well through the infield. Now these are all very close. Wack getting the best of the cornering there. Top four starting to break away from Spin. Spin does have the fastest lap though, he's just set with an 8.4. Again, Turbo really loose into turn one, struggling. But the top three, the top four are all MR cars. So Spin should be able to catch them and get some overtakes into turn one. Starting with Genesis. It's going on a bit further back. Harry's just at the head of Miles, Colin and Yuri in the top 10 at the moment. But Spin looks like he's already caught Genesis. Is he going to go for a late move? He's done a few of these already and he's making good progress up the field. So next on his list is going to be Wack. He's done an overtake and he's still almost on his fastest lap, on the fastest lap of the race even. Joe's really done a good job of catching up to Turbo here. Turbo's going to have to go defensive into turn one. So this is going to be interesting because we've seen Turbo struggle with that corner. He's going very defensive. And it looks like Joe was braver on the brakes, but it's going very wide on the exit. And oh, there's been contact between them. Turbo keeps the position for now, but it's allowed Wack and Spin to close right up. Now is Wack going to try and move? No, Joe got a better exit there. What about Spin? Is Spin going to try and do the same thing on this corner? He's absolutely going for it. And Wack gets crowded, actually allows himself to go on the grass there. Spin up into third. Now Joe and Turbo having a bit more contact on this lap. Turbo still in P1. Looks like Wack's lost another position to Genesis there, being out of position after the first overtake. Genesis hits the wall though, and he's going to get that position back. Pasty might fancy an easy position there as well, but let's look at the front because Turbo's having to go defensive again into the corner. Now, can he hold it around the outside? He couldn't do it on the previous lap. He's not as far alongside. Turbo goes to the outside on the exit of the corner. Joe trying his hardest to get alongside. Now Turbo covers the inside off. And Joe's out of position. Spin's trying to swoop through and get P2. Is he going to get P1 as well? A little bit of contact mid-corner and Spin just did a double overtake. Let's have another look at that. Both of Turbo and Joe are not taking that corner that well, a bit compromised. The contact came in braking. I think that's absolutely fine, to be honest. So yeah, from 8th to 1st in by lap 6. Not too bad, not too shabby. So now how can these guys respond? Can they try and get the position back? Joe's still looking a little bit hairy around some of these corners. Bit of contact with the wall for Spin. And a great exit for Joe. He's already up the back of Turbo. So Turbo's going to still benefit from slipstream and Joe isn't, so I don't think that kind of move's going to work for Joe. Potentially the bump draft would have been the smart move. Try and get Spin involved in the turn one shenanigans. Oh, Turbo's gone a little bit wide. Joe is alongside. Oh dear. Almost the same kind of incident that we saw between Spin and Turbo. little bit of contact under braking because the car on the outside is turning in and the car on the inside isn't, but it's caused a big issue there. We've also seen Wack get himself back up into P2 because Turbo went off track there on the exit. And he's probably got dirty tyres now and goes completely wide there, so an easy position for Wack. Pasty goes a little bit wide as well, so can't follow Wack through. Turbo's trying to defend it against Wack around the next corner. And Wack with the better exit should pull ahead before the next. Great corner exit there for Pasty, could get the move on Turbo. Now the difference here is that the Mazda is just naturally better than the Lambo, but that's going to be some good slipstream that Turbo Boy's getting. He's still vaguely alongside, he's absolutely chucked it into the corner. Again, Turbo struggling with turn 1. Could get a nice cut back though. That's the good thing, if you take a careful entry, which the MRs have to do, you can get a fantastic exit. Now, oh dear, what's going on? It's all kicking off now. Pasty down 2 positions, Harry up into 4th. And now Genesis trying to get past as well. Turbo Boy having to defend from Harry. Everyone's bunched up really tight here. Genesis couldn't get a good exit there because Harry was doing a little half spin. Pasty going way too deep in that corner. This has allowed Spin to massively escape here. So Spin's done a 9.0 compared to a 9.6 and a 10.8 for Turbo. Make that a 9.8 on this lap. 9.8 as well for Wack. So it's looking comfortable for Spin, depending on what strategy he decides to use. Oh, something's happened. Something strange has happened, because I've never seen someone oversteer like that. So he goes back onto the banking. Yep, at a bit too much of an awkward angle, loses P4 to Genesis, who's having a great feature. And then he goes a bit wide again. Pasty goes through now. Oh, a bit of contact with Colin. He's got damage. Colin's also got front bumper damage. He's going to try and get that position back off Colin. Zimmer ready to pounce as well. He's worked his way up to 8th. Oh, good little switch back there for Colin to get the spot back from Harry. Bit of contact as well. Harry might come under pressure from Zimmer now. Defends well. He's still got damage. He'll want that to disappear. Yep, it's disappeared before the straight at least. So he'll still be quick on the straight. Not with hitting the wall though. So it was looking really good for Harry. He was 4th. He's about to drop to 8th. Zimmer just getting the slipstream of Colin. And it'll give him a slight push with the Supra. Obviously there's no competition there. Harry sending it pretty late to try and get the spot back. There's no opportunity for a switchback. And he at least recovers 1 position after his trials and tribulations. Now we've got Turbo Boy falling back a little bit more. He's got Genesis putting pressure on him. Turbo deciding to cover off the corner. And a great corner there for Genesis. This should be doable, I reckon, with how far away Wack is. Turbo's not going to get too much benefit from that, if any. Yeah. Absolutely no answer for that. And that is Audi in the top 3 now. Colin has caught up to Pasty, and then we got Harry and Zimmer. Yuri Cherry, all pretty close together. Then there's a gap, and then I think we've got the boys who've been in the wars, which includes JMS, it includes Joe, who's dropped way back, Pyro, and Kenny, who's distant last place at the moment. So Whack is lapping in the 9.4s. That's about 0.2 slower than Spin now that the tyres are starting to go off. 9.4 as well for Genesis, 9.7 for Turbo and Pasty, and then a 9.1 for Colin. So that's why he's caught up to Pasty so quickly. So he's still feeling, well, the hards are starting to probably come alive a little bit more. Although his wear is not that great, I've got to say. You expect a bit better tyre wear from the McLaren, but it's working out for him because he's still with the lead pack. The only one who's really broke away still is Spin. So at the moment, as it stands, we're going into the final round with Spin and Colin still fighting for the championship, because Spin is currently 5 positions ahead. He finished 1 position ahead in the sprint. So Colin has to put in a shift to win the championship in this round as it stands. He's got a lot of drivers in his way who all seem to be driving pretty quickly, but they will clear the way for him because they'll all be pitting first, but they'll get an undercut. And it'll be interesting to see who does the 2-stop and who does the 1. Obviously Colin's going to be doing a 1-stop. Maybe some people will be doing medium hard because they started far forward. Or we might see 2 stops. 2 stops will be pretty popular as well. So yeah, Colin's got a good run there. He's nice and close to Pasty, but he's probably not going to get an overtake done in the near future. So let's see what's going on a bit further down. Looks like Joe and JMS having a bit of a battle. JMS going wide. Has actually allowed Pyro to get a double overtake done. Okay. Pyro on the outside here. Just taking the entry really easy. Sees the 2 go wide. And yeah, gets the positions pretty easily there. So he's up to 12. A nice extra handful of points there. And Joe will be a bit disappointed because he's got an overtake done and he's still in 13th. And JMS will be distraught, I'm sure. So Colin, Pasty, Turbo Boy all separated by about a second at the moment. Colin's starting to get held up, which he doesn't want really to happen. And yeah, hitting the wall is going to affect him pretty badly as well. Spin's finally come into the pits. Wack's going to take the lead of the race, but it might not be for long because Genesis has a really good run on him now. These guys are lapping in the 10s now. And Wack is going to be a little bit out of shape there on the entry, coming down on the really steep part of the banking. Genesis gets the lead of the race now. So that's pretty decent. We'll see how much longer these guys stay out. So the top 3 still on mediums have to come in fairly soon. Unless they do the 1-stop, then they'll be staying out probably till lap 16, maybe 15, if they are not feeling too brave. But yeah, anyone coming in right now could be doing the 1-stop or the 2-stop, so it's a bit difficult to say. Where has our race leader come out? He's come out with some nice clear air on the fresh mediums, so he's going to be definitely 2-stopping Spin, so he's going to have some overtakes to do later in the race. Genesis carrying on, Wack coming in, Pasty's carrying on. Oh no, he's not. He's come into the pits. Difficult to see from that angle. Looks like Yuri's in as well. Cherry carries on. He's got some pretty good tyre life there. Deco on the hards, obviously carrying on. Pyro's on the hards. He's going to get a nice little bump up the order. And let's join Spin and see what his lead looks like coming into turn 1. He's only put in half a tank. It looks like Wack is actually out ahead of Turbo Boy. Turbo Boy comes through into turn 1. Gets that position. So Turbo gets an undercut, Wax on the softs, Turbo Boy's also on the soft, Spin's on the medium, so they might be catching Spin and messing up his strategy a little bit here. Then we've got Passy out in 10th, Zimmer is out in 11th, and he's about to overtake Passy there, who gets turn 2 completely wrong. Then we have Harry out in 12th, Yuri's out, Joe's out on the softs and he's going purple, and we've got Kenny, who's still not made his pit stop, struggling around on those mediums, then to Tracy, cut off at the back. Genesis finally coming into the pits. Colin is going to now take the lead of the race for the first time tonight, actually. Cherry is coming in, Deco stays out. So now we've got Colin with quite a handy lead over Deco, both of them doing the exact same strategy. Pyro's going to be doing the same, as is JMS. Yeah, and then we've got Spin. What's his lead look like to Turbo? There's Turbo Boy, you can see maybe a second and a half behind as it stands. On the soft tyres, chasing him down. Spin's lap there was an 8.9. Turbo's was an 8.6. So Turbo needs to find, well, he needs to be at least half a second quicker than Spin, especially in these early stages of the tyre life. Especially with Whack as well, pretty close behind. So this is basically your net top 3 for the people who are 2-stopping. Spin's caught up to the back of JMS. If he can overtake JMS really quickly, unless JMS comes in this lap, I'm not sure if he will. But yeah, Spin's nearly a whole pit stop up on JMS and Pyro. It didn't take very long. Now what Spin needs is for JMS to peel into the pit lane here. It doesn't look like it's happening though. Turbo and Whack fairly close behind. Genesis quite a way back. Genesis on the mediums again, but he's something strange has happened. He's a lot further back than he should be. JMS having a little look at Pyro into turn 1. Spin just catching up massively on the exit, which is the difference in the tyres. Now, if he gets a good exit here, Spin, he'll get... oh no, he nearly lost it. What about Turbo? Turbo's going to see that, but Turbo was a little bit further behind. It's going to close the gap nicely and get into slipstream for the straight, though. Once again, Pyro really struggling at the end of this stint. JMS all over the back of him, and now Spin's already caught up to them despite him nearly losing it. What's going to happen here? He's going to have to be really careful through this corner. Nearly loses it. I think this is going to be Turbo Boy's chance. And surely Pyro and JMS are coming in now. Nope, they're staying out again. So definitely doing the one-stop, these top 4. Spin's still not able to overtake any of them yet. And now he's under pressure from Turbo, but Turbo actually gave him a bit of a bump. And Turbo gets rear-ended himself from Whack. Actually makes the corner beautifully there. So no harm done. Which is quite impressive. Now is Spin going to go for it on JMS? You can't really send it there unless you're slightly alongside, which he wasn't. Again, he's going to, like I said, he has to send it on the inside here. And JMS leaves the door open. I wouldn't have left the door open because he's going to lose a lot of time. There's a bit of contact between the two of them as well. Spin gets the position though. JMS is going to come under pressure now from Turbo, so might fall even further behind. It's not what you need when you're trying to lap on worn tyres. Turbo's thought about going up alongside, but tucked in behind. JMS hits the wall, and he's going slow. His tyres are nearly completely dead as well. Is he going to carry on? He is thinking about pitting, and he decides not to. Wax caught up to the back of Turbo in all that drama, because he just had a normal exit from the corner. And he's going to take a net P2. Spin, meanwhile, is trying to take Pyro, who's defending. This is very precarious for Pyro right now. Little bit of contact, and Spin is trying to get his way through. Pyro's not making it easy for him. He's absolutely fighting him. And he actually wins that fight. So the Alpha back in front of the BMW. And yeah, Turbo Boy's caught up to these guys as well because Pyro's going that slow, and that's why the two people opt for the two-stop, because of how slow you get at the end of the stint. But if you get caught up and you can't make an overtake like these guys, you're just completely ruining your fast laps, especially for the soft runners. For Turbo Boy, on those softs, what's happened to Wack? Why is he dropped down to 8th? Oh, that'll do it. Oh, that was a good spin though, pointing the right way. So going around the final corner to start a new lap, Pyro's coming in finally, but Deco is staying out under absolutely no pressure. Colin is staying out absolutely under no pressure at all. Spin is doing a good job of catching them, even though his last lap was an 11 flat, so he's actually lapping slower there. He's got Deco with still moderately fresh tyres close behind him, but the crossover point surely is about to arrive in terms of the grip levels. Yeah, he's not actually catching up in the corners that he should be catching up, Turbo. So this is an interesting scenario, with one pit stop left for each of them. Well, actually, scratch that, because Colin's just come in. But Colin had quite a comfortable lead over Spin at this stage of the race. It actually could be a good shout to win the whole thing. He kept with the front group, even though he was on hards and they were on mediums. Let's see where Colin ends up coming out. He's just putting in his fuel now, but he has to fuel for the end of the race. Losing a lot of positions here. Behind Pasty and behind Zimmer. There's a group of 4 cars that he'll want to stay ahead of, which I think he is going to. That group is headed off from Joe with Harry in there as well. So once again, Colin out in some clear air for now. He's got Zimmer and Pasty not too far ahead, who he might catch, who might hold him up a bit, but that is a decent gap to come back out in. So what can Spin do now? His last lap was in the 8s, 8.9. He needs to be consistently in the 8s for the next few laps until he makes his second stop, where I think he'll be putting on soft tyres to the end. So he should be incredibly quick at the end, and if he finds himself around Colin, the overtake could be fairly straightforward. He's started to gap Turbo. Turbo looked, well, I heard a thud there. I think he might have gone into the walls. His soft tyres are very dead now. I think he's only got one more lap left in them. Genesis is catching up to him pretty quickly, so we have Spin on a 9 flat, Turbo Boy on a 9.9, and an 8.9 for Genesis, and a 9.6 for Wack, who's still in 4th after his spin, a 9.3 for Pasty, and a 9.8 for Zimmer, and then we've got Colin, who's just finished his out lap. So where's the fighting going on here? Harry ahead of Cherry, then we've got Yuri in 10th, Deco in 11th, Joe is in the pits. Yeah, everyone's pretty gapped at the back as well. Okay, so let's see what how Turbo Boy takes these next couple of corners, because they're going to be hard on his tyres and they're all pretty dead now. He's 1.2 seconds off of his fastest time as well. Yep, grazes the wall, took the corner pretty poorly, but he's going to go into the pits now. He's indicating, so Genesis is going to be released into P2. Oh, there's been an overtake here though. What's going to happen with Zimmer? Just a poor exit compared to Colin. So that's good news for Colin, although Zimmer might pull back alongside here, down this straight, with the straight line speed that the Supra has. Wack's in as well off of his soft tyres, so Wack and Turbo on identical strategies. I think they'll be on mediums to the end. Zimmer holding it really well around the outside for Colin. Colin's still got the advantage though. Oh dear. that was a bit marginal. So here's a lesson in leaving a car's width. Let's try and figure out if a car's width was left right there. If we go into camera mode, this is what I do sometimes to try and figure out, yeah, that's not a car's width. So yeah, if that was reported, I don't know if it was. I don't think it was actually. This was a while ago though. I think it would have been penalised. But Colin, back up into fourth, can carry on his march up the pack. His next person to overtake is Pasty, who's probably 2 seconds ahead right now. And then there's a big gap to Genesis and Spin. Let's see where Turbo Boy and Wack came out the pits. Turbo in 11th, but doesn't need to pit again. Wack in 13th. Potentially, well, actually, he's behind JMS on track. And they've, yeah, JMS's tyres maybe a lap or two older. So maybe he's going to get caught towards the end of the race, JMS, by Wack. But yeah, Wack has a bit of work to do there. There we go. Deco challenging Yuri. Deco's on a recovery after the opening of the race, which didn't go to plan. It looks like a fairly good position there. Deco's definitely going to the end. And Yuri is going to have to pit another time. So this is bad news for McLaren in the Constructors. And where's Harry? Harry's in at P6, but again, he's going to have to pit again. So finishing in the top 10 might be a little bit difficult. Zimmer in P5 is going to have to pit. Colin is not. And he's catching Pasty pretty quickly now, so let's stick with these. He's gone purple as well. So maybe we'll get into the 7s now. Oh, no, not with a corner. No, not with a corner like that. Not with an exit like that. Let's see what that dropped him down to. So he was, what, 3/10 ahead? 2/10 ahead of the fastest laps. That would have been an 8.1. And he set an 8.4. So we lost 3/10 with that dodgy final corner. Not too bad. And that gives Pasty some nice breathing room to keep pounding in the laps. He's lapping in the 9s, so even with that little mistake from Colin, he's still a lot slower. Still, yeah, the top guys are all lapping in the 9s, so Colin's probably the fastest person on the track. Actually, I take that back, it's going to be Deco who's the quickest. He's going to catch Cherry. 1.5 seconds a lap quicker he is at this stage. And yeah, difficult to see if he's going to beat that quickest lap that he's just set. Doesn't look like it. And yeah, another graze with the wall. Every time we see someone that we ride on board, they end up grazing the wall around there. Kills your momentum. Colin really close to Pasty now. And yeah, Spinner Genesis still holding on these medium tyres. Let's see how much fuel they've got left. Spin's definitely coming in soon. Genesis, I think, is going to the end of the race, but he's going to be slow, so I think he's going to get caught. Pasty, oh, something's happened to Pasty because Colin got a better exit from the corner. He's got the inside line. Is he going to send it? Pasty expected it to happen, but once you hung out around the outside of that corner, there's really not much you can do. So Colin back in a podium position. Yeah, and Pasty's really losing his time on this lap. But he's got a gap behind him, so if he needs to stay out for another lap or two, he can. Spin's in the pits now, making his second stop. So I'm assuming Harry will be following him. We'll only need a small amount of fuel putting in, so it'll be a short pit stop. Harry actually carries on. Cherry's carrying on. He might drop outside the top 10 here. Still putting in fuel. He is Yuri a long way back. So I think Spin versus Yuri. on this run into turn 1. There's Spin, you can see him just coming out of the pits now. And actually fairly comfortable in the end. And he's on the softs, but he's got a lot of time to make up on Cherry and Deco. Was that a change from position? It was. Cherry just left the door open and Deco said thank you very much. So now Deco's next victim is Harry a little further up. This is looking really good for Colin winning the championship after these pit stops. He's a lot of positions ahead of Spin. We might see one more or two more people come in for soft tyres. Genesis with a fairly comfy lead, and he's also a lap up on P16 right now. So a little cushion of a lapped car. Pasty trying to keep up with Colin. Because he lost a chunk of time there. Is Pasty coming in now? He is. Ooh, is that going to be a penalty? Zimmer carries on another time. Harry's coming in. So that's going to promote Deco up into the top 4 now. Pretty fresh medium tyres by the looks of it. I don't know what. I think Cherry's going to have to make another pit stop. So Cherry will drop down. Spin will be in the top 5. But he is a long way off everybody. Yuri's up in 7th. Needs to make a pit stop. Pyro doesn't need to pit. And he's ahead of Turbo Boy, actually. So Turbo potentially losing out in the pit sequence. The 1 stop versus the 2 stop it is, though. I think. I can't quite remember. Pasty's out in P10 as well, so behind these guys. But he is on softs. So I think Pasty could still finish in a decent position. Genesis has come in. So Genesis needed to make a final stop. He's going to go on to the softs. That promotes Colin into P1 now on his 1-stop strategy. Deco's up in P2 as a buffer to Spin, who's in P3. He's going to, leap up into P3 for sure. And he's setting his quickest times now. Potentially needs to get into fastest lap territory though, if he wants to be catching Deco and Colin. So that was an 8.3, a full second quicker than Deco, but only 0.2 quicker than Colin, who's about to lapse Tracy. So at the moment, it really does look like the 1-stop strategy was the best, but we do have 6 laps to go, and Spin should be the quickest man on the track. Genesis rejoins in P4 ahead of Pyro. Pyro still only second, I'd say, ahead of Turbo at this stage. Turbo with fresher tyres as well, and Pyro getting that corner pretty badly wrong. Lets Turbo close the gap nicely. So is Pyro going to nail this final corner? He does it much better. Oh, never mind. He got the entry good, and he got the exit all wrong. But yeah, Turbo Boy went a little bit too wide around the corner. So now we've got 6 laps left. Let's assess the situation. 8.9 there for Colin, 8.6 for Deco, 8.2 for Spin. Still not the fastest lap. Harry's just set that an 8.1, but he's not in the top 8 at the moment. Genesis going for his fastest lap at the moment. He's on the freshest tyres out of everyone in the top. The top 8 really. Wax in P8. So without his spin, he'd be really, really right up there. But now he's fighting JMS and Zimmer for P8, 9, and 10 by the looks of it. Everyone else is pretty spaced out at the back. And yeah, a 9 flat. So Colin's losing some time now. Every lap is slower than the previous one. 8.8 for Deco, still quicker. What's this going to be for Spin? An 8.3. Okay. So 0.6 a lap quicker at this stage. He needs the top guy's tyres to start falling off a bit quicker because his tyres are already looking fairly worn. Genesis an 8.2, so Genesis the quickest out of everyone in the top 4, but again a little bit too far away. Let's see what Turbo Boy can do around these corners. Pyro taking the apexes of these a little bit better. There's a yellow flag out for someone. Was it for Genesis? No. It's for Sir Tracy. He's just getting out of the way. Oh no, he definitely damaged his car. Let's see what happened. Boom. There we go. So a bit of a miserable night. You don't get any points for P16. But they're still a fair way ahead of this battle for P5. Yeah, Pyro's got a great exit there. Pasty might have a go at Turbo here. Pasty on the softs has caught Turbo beautifully. Did have the fastest lap, but just got beat by Genesis, the only person in the 7s now. Pasty in 8.3, that's great. He's going to chuck it on Turbo Boy. He's feeling brave. And he gets it beautifully there. So much more grip for the soft tyres. And again, the FR victorious over the MR into turn 1. Further back, it's Wack versus Zimmer now. Something's happened to JMS. There's Harry trying to come past, but JMS was also ahead of Zimmer at one point. But yeah, bit of a poor entry into the turn 1. Loses that one as well. We've got Harry, Zimmer and Wack all fighting for P8 now. Oh, Wack in the wall as well. And he's got absolutely no momentum. He doesn't have damage, but that is pretty slow. Harry's too far back, I think. I think Wack's regained a little bit of momentum there at just the time, and he's absolutely sent it on Zimmer into turn 1 as well. He looks like he's fully ahead. Can Zimmer get a good acceleration out of the corner potentially? No, he cannot. Oh, Wack's really deep though. And Harry was in there for some fun as well, but it's pretty much as you were after all that excitement. Wack having to defend from Harry now. And he defends well. Not much Harry could do there. Ooh. Yeah, and once again, fairly comfortable. So now it is Zimmer ahead of Wack, ahead of Harry. Harry's got a good exit from this corner. We've got Tracy getting out of the way. Two more laps to go. Is Harry going to send it into turn 1? Wack covers it off. Yeah, and a very wide exit there. Harry nearly hitting the barriers. But he does have so much more pace than Wack. Is he going to send it here? No, you can't send it there. He's all out of shape. So get out of jail free card for Wack. What about Pasty versus Pyro? Pyro's still holding up Pasty. Pasty's past Turbo Boy. Going into the final corner. Let's see what Pyro can do. We're about to start the final lap of the race. Well, Colin's well truly away on his final lap, and no one's been able to catch him. Look at, we're on the final lap. Spin's still miles behind Deco, let alone Colin. Colin's already in sector 2. It's looking fairly comfortable for him. After it looked a little bit hairy at the start, but it was mainly because he was on the hards on the one stop. Managed to catch the top guys before they made their pit, and yeah, they just couldn't do enough. None of them. And Deco had an absolute nightmare of a start. He could have been challenging for the win with Colin here, but it wasn't to be. So this is going to confirm it. Colin is going to be the champion of this Tier 3 with 1 round to go. He's going to come along in formation with his teammate there, Yuri. So that's P1 for Colin, champion. First ALR title in his first full season. Really solid P2 in the end for Deco, making the one-stop work. These two were the two that could make it work. And then there's Spin, the first of the two stoppers, just ahead of Genesis, who did great in catching him up at the end. Now we've got past, he did make it past Pyro somewhere. So he's going into the hairpin, and he's really late lunge there. Pyro trying to get the switch back. And Pasty covering it off really well down to the line. They're actually drag racing all the way down to the line, so who's going to win? Actually, Pyro gets ahead right at the line. So that was really fortunate for Pasty. Turboboy 7th. Not for Pasty, for Pyro. Zimmer is going to come home in 8th place, just ahead of Wack in 9th. Harry in 10th. Must have made some mistakes at the end. JMS at 11th. Cherry in 12th. Then we've got Joe in 13th. Kenny's going to be 14th, Yuri 15th, and Tracy in 16th. So that's your lot for today. We've already got a champion in the drivers, no champion in the constructors. That's still between BMW and McLaren. BMW are the favourites, overwhelmingly though. So yeah, next time is going to be Le Mans, so join me then.